Hmm.
Um,
And
it's
you can hear me okay.
Yes, I hear you clearly. I'm happy to meet with you today and talk a little bit about what's happening in the United States. I had yesterday a quick chat with one of our colleagues, Maros. He is living in
Mhm.
the East Coast, and
Yeah.
I was checking on him and his family, and he replied only with one sentence. Everyone is going crazy. So, is it really the case? How bad things are really like in the area?
Well, I mean, there are a couple things happening,
Hmm.
and I think that's important to recognize. The first thing that's going on is there is a lot of tension with regard to the ICE raids,
Hmm.
which, are really unprecedented. Very, often in the media, people are being told that when President Obama was president, there were this many millions of deportations, and for President Bush it was this many, and President Trump it was this many, so that we're kind of on track that it hasn't really been that many, and it's not a question of the number. It's
Hmm.
really a question of the way in which it's being done. Uh, you know, the American public was told that there were criminals who had snuck into the country illegally, and that, these were violent criminals and we needed to get rid of them. So the American public seemed to be okay with that logic. But then when the raids started, they weren't going after criminals. They were going into places of business. They were going to stores, going to restaurants, going to warehouse facilities, and taking out people who were working. And now it's escalated. The White House press secretary, when asked about this, and said, "Look, you said it was just going to be criminals." She said, "They are criminals. They're here illegally." They said, "These are people who've been here 10, 15, maybe 20 years." And then went, "Yeah, but they got in illegally, so they're criminals. So we're gonna take all of them." And then, the directive to go to specific stores and to, specific places of business. I mean, these are people with jobs. These are people who are part of the communities in which they live. Did they overstay their visas? Yes. Are they here illegally? Absolutely. But previous administrations had gone through a specific set of steps in order to deport them. Whereas in this case, it's just immediately, whisking them away, and they're gone. And so that's part of the issue, and people are getting upset about this.
But
Um,
I mean,
People within these communities are getting upset. So what happened was some protesters, there's a lot of protests. There are no riots,
hmm,
right? There are many protests and zero riots. So are people going crazy? People are upset. People are upset, and rightly so, because the economic impact of just the deportations alone is going to create inflationary pressures that we've not seen in quite some time. Now, add to that the whole tariff mess, and inflation is knocking at the door. So yes, people are very upset, but you have to understand there's no rioting going on.